What's up, everybody? It's Harmless Rebel, and I am here to do a quick song review. I don't think I've done a song review before. This one, though, I wanted to do a video as soon as I heard the song, and then decided to wait a couple of days. I knew people would be doing a bunch of videos, and I've seen a bunch of them, and the opinions of what it sounds like, it just runs the gambit. Everybody has a different idea. But I will say one thing is universal. Everybody seems to like the song for the most part. There are some criticisms here and there, but it's generally about parts of the song, not the song itself. And I kind of fall in there as well. So the song, of course, is Hardwired from Metallica. It's been out for 3 or 4 days now. I think it came out on the 18th. Metallica released the video. They've also since released an official live version of the song, which I do actually like a little bit better than the studio version. With Metallica is not uncommon, especially for the last 20 years. So right off the bat, I really like the song. I heard it the first time. I was sitting at a stoplight, and I saw a little pop-up email, a little news email that I get from Loudwire, and it said that Metallica had a new release out. So I went ahead and clicked on the video, set my stereo to Bluetooth, and I listened to it in the car. Initially, the first thing that caught me was the riff. The riff is one of the best riffs that they've written in a while, in my opinion. I really loved the sound of the song. I love the dynamics of the song. I thought James Hetfield sounded really good, not just on guitar, but on vocals. I've been kind of I found his vocals to be hit or miss the last few albums, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he quit smoking and quit drinking. He doesn't have that same rasp to his voice that he had back in the 80s and 90s, and it all seemed to disappear around the time of Saint Anger, which is when he quit smoking and drinking. I could be wrong that that's the reason, but his voice has never sounded the same since then. Now, I have heard some live videos where he does sound pretty good, but you can still hear that his voice is cleaner than it used to be. Probably good for his health, not great for his sound, in my opinion, but he does sound really good on this. His guitar work sounds really good on this, especially when I watched the live one. I was really impressed with how good he was playing. Overall, I really like the song. Are the lyrics great? No, and that's something I do miss about Metallica in general. If you go back and listen to, Ride the Lightning, phenomenal lyrics, and Justice for All, phenomenal lyrics. Even through the Black Album had some really good lyrical writing as well. And then that started to change with Load, where they went to, I don't want to say dumbed down lyrics, but I'll call them lazier lyrics. Songs like King Nothing. When you compare the lyrics of that to the song Ride the Lightning or Don't Tread on Me, I mean, there's no comparison. And Hardwired, I feel the same way. The lyrics they're not there, and they haven't been for years, unfortunately. And again, that's something I really miss about Metallica. Again, the guitar work from both guys sounds really good. Kurt Hammett sounded good until the solo, and I'll get to that in a minute. The bass, they've got Robert Trujillo. Robert Trujillo is one of the best modern bassists, definitely one of the best metal bassists. He's just an absolute monster. I've seen him. I saw him with Suicidal Tendencies. I've seen him with Ozzy. I didn't see him with Infectious Grooves. However, I was a fan of Infectious Grooves, and he's just always had a really killer sound that's very distinct to him and super powerful. And again, the bass sounds good on here. The drums, I was really surprised by the drums on first listen. And as I listened to it more and more, I liked the drums less and less. And I think the drums have kind of been the weak point, in my opinion, since Saint Anger. I'm not sure what's going on with Lars. If you listen, the hi-hat and snare, where he's just going back and forth, sounds really good. But if you listen deeper, something's going on with the bass. When he kicks into the straight double bass, it sounds good. But when he's doing the staggered double bass, and what you'll hear it if you go back and listen, something's off about it. And I don't know if it's caused by the production or if he's just off a tiny bit. And this is something I started noticing in Saint Anger, where the double or the bass is just kind of, or the bass drum, the kick drum is just kind of floating, and it's a sound I really don't like. And another great example of that is in this CD that came out a few months ago for Record Store Day. This is Liberty Egalite Fraternity. I can't say it's in French, but the live album they did. If you go in here and listen to Frantic, something's wrong with the kick drum. I don't know what it is. It's driven me nuts on the last few albums. If any of you guys else hear that as well, leave a comment in the notes. You drummers out there, I notice it because I was a drummer for almost 20 years. I don't play anymore, but I still tune in on that and something about the kick drum just throws me off. So give me your thoughts on that. The solo, I think, is the weakest part of the song. Kurt Hammett can do some killer solos. He's got some of the best solos out there, some of the most memorable solos. And this one, it's just kind of a lazy solo. I don't think it fits the song. I think if they cut that out completely, the song would have been better. Now, I don't want it to sound like I'm just bashing this song. Honestly, I think this is the best song that they've released since probably, I don't know, maybe since the Black Album. I really like the song, even with its shortcomings. I mean, it's definitely not classic Metallica. I've heard people compare it to Ride the Lightning, to the Black Album, to I can't think of the name of the last album, to their last album, Death Magnetic. I do hear a little bit of Death Magnetic in there. I don't hear any of the Black Album. I hear a little tinge of Fight Fire with Fire. I don't know why. Something about the riff reminds me of Fight Fire with Fire. It's not as good, or it's just not as good a riff as Fight Fire with Fire, but something about it does remind me of that. But you know, everybody's saying this is Metallica's comeback. I hope it is. I loved Metallica. I love Metallica, especially their early stuff. And I would love to see them come back. And this does give me hope for the new album, because honestly, I think Saint Anger is one of the worst. It's definitely the worst Metallica album ever released. I think it's probably one of the 10 worst metal albums released. It was just terrible. Death Magnetic, I liked, but I've listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times since I bought it. So compared to every other Metallica album, which I've listened to, hundreds, if not thousands of times, So I hope that it does give me some hope. And the fact that so many of their contemporaries are coming out with amazing albums, they're really bringing back their sound from the 80s and early 90s. I hope Metallica can do that too. Again, I'm holding my breath because, Lords of Summer came out last year. I thought that song was subpar. I mean, it's an okay song, but I actually went back and listened to it before doing this video, and going back and listening to it, I think it sounds terrible, especially when you compare it to how good Hardwired is. So again, this does give me hope for this album. I do like it. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't. I actually put the links down below for the official video and the official live release. Now, I got to talk about the artwork for this. If you watch Mike C-Town and L Mount's video, they bring up the artwork, and it got me looking at it, and the artwork is terrible. It's really bad. And then I saw, I think it was Loudwire comparing it to one of the Foo Fighters album covers, and it's a great comparison, and it's worse than the Foo Fighters album cover. So I don't know what they were thinking with the artwork for this, but it's terrible. But the song is very cool. I highly recommend you check it out. Again, the links are below. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm off on this, let me know. If you think I'm right, cool. Other than that, take care, everybody, and I'll have another video soon.